Menahem Golan was an Israeli director and producer. He produced movies for such stars as Sean Connery, Sylvester Stallone, Chuck Norris, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Charles Bronson, and was known for a period as a producer of comic book-style movies like Masters of the Universe, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, Captain America, and his aborted attempt to bring Spider-Man to the silver screen. Using the pen name of Joseph Goldman, Golan also wrote and polished film scripts. He was co-owner of Golan-Globus with his cousin Yoram Globus. Golan produced about 200 films, directed 44, won 8 Violin David Awards and also the Israel Prize in Cinema. Early life: Menahem Golan was born on May 31, 1929, in Tiberias, then Mandate Palestine. His parents were Jewish immigrants from Russian Poland. He spent his early years in Tiberias, then studied directing at the Old Vic School in the London Academy of Music and Dramatic Art, and filmmaking at New York University. During the Israeli War of Independence, Golan served as a pilot in the Israeli Air Force. Directing and film career: Golan started as an apprentice at Habima Theatre in Tel Aviv. After completing his studies in theatre direction, he staged plays in Israel. He gained experience as a filmmaker by working as an assistant to Roger Corman. Golan is probably best known as a director for his film Operation Thunderbolt, about the Israeli raid on Entebbe Airport in Uganda. He also produced Eskimo Limon, a film that spawned many sequels and an American remake called The Last American Virgin. In 1979, Golan did an adaptation of an Isaac Bashevis Singer novel entitled The Magician of Lublin. He was responsible for the musical The Apple, an unusual moral fable with a rock disco soundtrack that appeared on a number of lists of all-time worst movies, but has since become a cult film. Golan's production company, the Cannon Group, produced a long line of films during the 1980s and early 1990s, including Delta Force, Runaway Train, and some of the Death Wish sequels. In 1986, Cannon was taken over by Pathé Communications. Golan produced several comic book-style movies in the last half of the 1980s, most notably Masters of the Universe, based on the toys of that name and inspired by the comics of Jack Kirby. In 1987, Cannon gained infamy after their UK-based production of Superman 4, The Quest for Peace failed in theaters and provoked a negative backlash from fans. Golan resigned from Cannon in 1989, and by 1993 the company had folded. After Cannon's collapse, Golan became head of 21st Century Film Corporation and produced several medium-budget films. Golan hoped to film Spider-Man in 1986 at Cannon Studios in United Kingdom, and to shoot the exteriors in Tel Aviv, Israel. Dolph Lundgren was envisioned as the Green Goblin and Spider-Man creator Stan Lee was approached to make a cameo as J. Jonah Jameson. Golan struggled for years to produce the Marvel Comics character, but he finally failed when 21st Century Film Corporation went bankrupt and closed in 1996. Sony Pictures eventually purchased the Spider-Man rights and produced the first film in 2002. In 2002, Golan released his adaptation of Crime and Punishment. Personal life: Golan was married and had 3 children. Death: Menachem Golan died while visiting Jaffa, Tel Aviv with family members on the morning of August 8, 2014. Ambulances immediately rushed to the scene, but when attempts to resuscitate him failed, the paramedics pronounced him dead. He was 85 years old. Filmography as director: 1960s El Dorado, Shimona Bakevat, Dahlia Via Malayim, Fortuna, Trunk to Cairo, 999 Eliza, The Policeman, Teef and His 7 Daughters, What's Good for the Goose, Margot Shelley. 1970s Lupo. Attack at Dawn, Malkat Hakvish, Cats of Caruso, Shot Her Telephone Magadol, Escape to the Sun, Kazeblon, Lip, Diamonds, Operation Thunderbolt, The Uranium Conspiracy, The Magician of Lublin. 1980s The Apple, Enter the Ninja, Over the Brooklyn Bridge, The Delta Force, Over the Top, Hannah's War, Mac the Knife. 1990s Zebra Ska Opera, Hit the Dutchman, Silent Victim, Deadly Heroes, Superbrain, Russian Roulette, Moscow 95, Die Tunnel Gangster von Berlin, 1998 Lima, Breaking the Silence, Armstrong, The Versace Murder. 2000s Death Game, Crime and Punishment, Open Heart, Final Combat, Days of Love, A Dangerous Dance, Marriage Agreement. Awards and Commemoration, 1978, nomination for the Academy Award for Best Foreign Language Film Operation Thunderbolt, 1984, nomination for Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Picture Cannonball Run, 1987, nomination for Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Picture Tough Guys Don't Dance, 1988, nomination for Golden Raspberry Award for Worst Picture Cobra. In 1999, Golan was awarded the Israel Prize for his contribution to cinema. In 1994 Golan was awarded the Ophir Prize of the Israeli Film Academy for his lifetime achievement. The movie theater in the Azrieli building in Tel Aviv, Israel bore the name of the Golan-Globus company. It was closed in 2008. See also, List of Israel Prize recipients. References. External links. Menahem Golan at the Internet Movie Database, Menahem Golan at All Movie.